It's no secret that we love our Arabian horses and those that have come into our lives as a result. From the everyday amateur to the professional trainer, AHT Talks is here to chat about the latest happenings, get to know some of our favorite individuals, and answer some of the questions we're all eager to know. Now, here's our host, Laura Ames.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored today to have Stacy Sation and Mike Deefy representing the Arabian Breeding Pays Futurity, which is going to be a new class that's going to be offered at U.S. Nationals for halter horses, and specifically this year, the 2-year-olds. So, hi, Mike and Stacy. Would one of you guys like to talk to us about how the inspiration came for this Futurity class?
Sure, Laura, I can answer that. There was a small group of people that wanted to create a high dollar prestigious futurity for the halter horses, much like the Arabian Western Pleasure Futurity, the English Futurity, and the Hunter Pleasure Futurity programs have done, with the goal of increasing marketability and creating a great prize money program for these young halter horses.
So when you talk about the prize money, because everybody wants to know what they could maybe go earn. And let's talk a little bit about the prize money that you guys are going to be offering in this 2-year-old class, and what makes it unique from the different other programs in regards to the money structure.
Sure. Well, there's actually going to be 2 classes at the Nationals this year, and the plan is, every year thereafter. And it'll be the first class is a 2-year-old filly class, and the second is a 2-year-old colts. They show together. And each class will have $130,000 paid. And the payout is as follows: $35,000 to the gold or the champion winner, $20,000 to silver or reserve, bronze or the third place gets $10,000, and then the remaining top 10 each get $5,000 prize money. In addition to that prize money, there's an amateur incentive. So the class is open to all exhibitors, but if an amateur shows in the class and makes it to the finals, so in the final top 12 is what we will have for the finals. The top placing amateur will receive $15,000, or the owner and breeder will receive $15,000. Second highest placing amateur is $10,000, and the third highest placing amateur is $5,000, and that's for each class.
So that leads into another topic, is the name on this, Breeding Pays Futurity, which different from the other futurity programs is the breeder is going to earn prize money, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the goals here, is to create a major incentive to breed. So all prize money that's paid is split equally between the current owner of the horse and the breeder of the horse. So it's a very significant incentive to the breeders in this program.
Thanks. So let's talk about the board members. So obviously you guys are both on the board. I'm on the board, but let's talk about the people that are making this all happen.
Sure. So the chair of our board is Cindy McGowan. Our vice chair is Murray Popwell. Kelly Charpentier is the secretary. I'm the treasurer. Also directors, we have Stacy Sation, who's on this, Gary Keel, Doug Ledley, Michael Weinstein, and Laura.
A great group of people.
It is.
A diverse group of people, I think.
Yep.
So obviously you're going to be entering your horses for the class. You need founding members. So what is the benefit of being a founding member? And maybe Stacy, you want to share with us why you think someone should consider being a founding member.
Sure. The founding member is an exciting opportunity as a breeder or advocate for the Arabian horse. What it allows you to do is get special offerings on the nominations for your stallion. You also get some retaining ability of your stallions in the fee. And the whole program is set up so that you can grow and learn through the program by having your stallions move with the program. So for instance, if you were to have a horse that you nominated as a founding member, when you sell that horse, it retains its rights as a founding member. The founding members are also set up to be transferable. So if at some time in the future you decide you no longer want to be a founding member, you can sell your membership to another area. I think the most important reason is it's a way to support the Arabian horse and the community that we're building through the program.
Right. So the class is going to be at U.S. Nationals this year. It's for 2-year-olds. I understand correctly, you need to nominate them, or the first nomination process to not pay the penalty is July 1st, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So the nomination fee for your 2-year-olds is $1,000, and that gets you in. The deadline is July 1. If you don't meet that deadline, there is another period you can enter between July 1 and the U.S. National entry deadline, which is August 24, and that fee is $2,000. And then during that post-entry period at U.S. National, so between the deadline and then the post-entry deadline, the Breeders' Pay Futurity nomination fee is $5,000. Now, those are all the nomination fees with the Futurity. You also have to enter your horse with the U.S. Nationals on the traditional entry form.
Okay. How did it come about that, I know that everybody always wants to know, how did you come about doing it for 2-year-olds? Because in the performance divisions, they do 3-year-olds. And how did you guys come about doing it for 2-year-olds on the halter?
Well, there were a couple of things at play. First, there's already programs out there for yearlings and 3-year-olds. We have the yearling breeder sweepstakes classes, and we have the 3-year-old Arabian Horse Association Futurity classes. So the 2-year-old class was a nice fit in between. It also provides a good time for these horses. There's oftentimes 2-year-olds is a down year for a lot of these horses, and it allows horses to go in this and then have options to go into a halter career or even go into a performance, go down that performance futurity line if that's what they want.
Yeah. Let's talk about we already sort of talked about what makes the Futurity program different, the payouts to the amateurs and breeders. How did that come about? You briefly discussed the breeders. It's important. We need breeders. But where did the payout come for the amateurs? Or why, I shouldn't say where, why did it come about?
Well, Stacy, do you want to take that one?
Sure. As we were trying to think about how to make this allowing everyone to participate as much as possible, we decided that we didn't want to limit the number of people that could be in the ring at any time to those that were trainers. So we looked at opening up to the amateurs, allowing them to show their horses, to bring in more horses into the class. We wanted to make sure that we were rewarding them for that. So in some other associations, we've seen something similar to this done, and it's helped the entries quite a bit. And we also looked at some of the amateur programs and how many horses we have coming in that way. So as we want to make this inclusive, as we want to have as many horses in it as possible, we thought it was a great way to bring the community together and combine our trainers and amateurs.
So let's just use this scenario. I'm an amateur. I show halter. I'm going to go show at nationals. I'm going to show against the trainers and trying to debate why I should do this. The reason I should do this now would be if I advance to the finals and I'm in the top 12 placings, how much money can I win?
Well, if you're the top placing amateur, regardless of what place in the top 12 you get, if you're 11th and you're the highest placing amateur, you'll win $15,000.
And if you were to be 5th, you would win the 15,000 plus the 5,000 overall. So you'd win 20. Split between the amateur and the breeder.
So there is an incentive for amateurs to show in this class then.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so let's talk about market. Everybody wants to sell a horse, right? So why do you guys think this class will help the halter breeding and hand market?
I think there's many reasons why it will help. One is it creates a prize money class that horses can go in. So I think when you're looking at your weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds, with this big prize money class, people are going to be looking to buy and sell horses based on that. It's also going to create additional breeding because there is this incentive not only to create horses that are winning on this big stage, but also the breeders are now going to have an enhanced prize money due to the way that we've structured this. So our goal is that we create a really high profile, big money class that becomes kind of the center of these classes, the halter classes at nationals, and creates a lot of attention. We've seen a lot of positive impact from these other futurities we have in the Western, Hunter, and English futurity. And part of it's the prize money, but part of it is also being involved in the class, having that big stage to show your horse, and then the marketability that goes along with it if you can make it to the finals and get that exposure.
And one of the things we're doing in addition to having the class is creating a little bit of community around it. So this year we're planning to have a Calcutta on the class where people can bid for their best guess at who's going to win the class. In the future, we're also looking to add a gala type event to kind of create a lot more community and opportunity to meet people within the halter community.
So the money for this class, can you guys, because I know you're not doing a stallion auction, can you tell us how the money is going to be funded to give these kind of payouts?
Yeah, what we're doing for that is we have founding members who are putting money up for some benefits within the stallion nominations and ongoing retaining fees for the stallions. And for that, they also get the tax deduction, but they're setting that money to ensure we have the purse for the first few years of this. And then through the ongoing years, we're looking at the nomination fees of stallions that the breeders are breeding to. So it is an added incentive. And as you said, it's not through Futurity nomination fees. However, the class fee of the $1,000 nomination is also going into the pot. So all money raised for this Breeding Pays Futurity goes back into the pot and is paid out to the exhibitors.
Okay, so let's talk about the classes, because I was looking today at the show schedule and it looks like it's slated to happen, obviously there must be a preliminary round and then a final round. So do you guys want to explain what's happening in the preliminary round and then what happens when you go into the final? Can you just sort of take it through it? Who's judging it? Just give us a little more information.
Right. So you're right. There are two rounds. There's the preliminaries and the finals. And so I'll take them one at a time. Preliminaries will be judged using the Arabian Breeders' World Cup scoring system, or the Vegas system. So it's a scorecard system that has 6 different attributes that are scored. And we're going to have 5 judges. The high and low score on each attribute will be dropped to create an overall score. The top 12 scores will advance to the finals. So now let's discuss more details. First, trainers can show as many horses as they want in the preliminaries. So if you have 5 2-year-olds, you can show all 5 2-year-olds. If if some of them advance, the trainer can pick which one they're going to show back and have a substitute handler for the remainder. So the finals will not be a scorecard, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if a trainer can show as many as they want in the preliminary. Go ahead.
I was going to say on the scorecard then now, are we going to be announcing these scores as they show? So you're going to know at the end of the day where you're sitting, correct?
Yeah, so we are going to announce the final score only. We're not going to post the cards. We're not going to say what each individual judge's score is, but we will tell everybody what the final score is for each horse so that we can determine publicly who the top 12 horses are that advance to the finals. Our judges are the 3 U.S. Nationals halter judges, plus 2 judges brought in by the Breeding Pays Futurity, which are Joey Kanda and Scott Brumfield. So those will be the 5 judges judging the preliminaries.
And then going into the finals, does the scores carry? Does there any weight that goes with that score that you get in the preliminary round, or do you go into the finals and you start a fresh start?
Finals is a fresh start. It will be judged comparatively. So we're going to have three judges, and those 3 judges will be Scott Brumfield, Joey Kanda, and one of the U.S. National Halter judges randomly selected for each of the 2 classes. And it will be judged like a regular halter class. All the horses will enter at a trot, walk relaxed, show individually, and then there will be a final stand-up. Each of those 3 judges will place them, and we'll be using the majority opinion system to score who the winners will be.
And I think one important caveat is for the amateur money that we talked about, for that amateur to win that money, they have to show the horse in both rounds, the same horse.
Correct.
Yeah, that is an important topic. Yeah. Wow. Well, it sounds to be a super exciting class. I'm sure over the next few weeks, there'll be more information to come on it all. And is there anything else you guys would like to share about the class, or anything in general?
There's a lot of forms that are going to be on the website, and I'm sure that everybody will be able to find those. If you have questions, you can contact the board members. We also have an email that's kind of a central email for everybody. It's breedingpaysfuturity@gmail.com. And I would say just be aware of the deadlines. We've got this July 1 deadline to nominate your 2-year-olds coming up, and make sure that you enter both through the Breeding Pays Futurity and the U.S. Nationals if you're going to show in the 2-year-old class.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time today to share this new Futurity with all of us.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.